Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Stanley with Standley Handcrafted, and today we're going to be going over a question that I get quite a bit in the group or through the videos or through email, and that's basically how many scents or how many candles do I start out with? Now again, this isn't going to be a real one-size-fits-all answer because everything is different areas, different markets, different people, different likes, taste, whatever you like to call it. I'm just going to go over kind of my thoughts on this one and basically what I've found in doing markets and selling at work, online, or anything like that. This is what I've come up with that seems to work pretty well, and a lot of people have followed this and it seems to work out pretty well for them. So for anybody starting out in the candle business, I would say you're going to want to start off with probably around 4 different types of scents. That's a good amount to start with. It's going to give you a little bit of variety, and you're not reaching for the stars as far as like cost. You're not going to jump your costs way up there when you're trying to start out. You want to keep things relatively low and inexpensive when you start with, and this is a good starting point to at least get a good variety. So if you're going to a market or you're putting things online, you've got a little bit of a selection for people to choose from. Now obviously you can go up from there, but I think starting with 4 to 6 different types of scents, 4 initially, 6 if you can do it, is going to give you a very good range, especially if you choose good scents or kind of a wide variety of scents. Now choosing scents, this one again isn't going to be real, not a hard cut. This is exactly what you need to get. This is from what I've found in selling, these are going to be a good mix of scents to do if you're first starting out. Very basic scents that do extremely well. Cinnamon, vanilla, those are 2 that always do really well. Cinnamon is one of those scents that a lot of people really like. It fits pretty much fall, winter. Some people will burn it year round. I love it year round. It's one of my favorite scents of all time, but it's a good one that covers pretty much 2 solid seasons. And vanilla is another one. Vanilla will actually cover pretty much all seasons. It's an extremely good seller in fall and winter, of course, because it's a real warm, inviting, it's a real comfort smell. So doing it in the fall and the winter, it smells like one of those winter smells. Going into spring and summer, it's an extremely nice scent also, especially if you get into the different types of vanillas, like a vanilla bean or a cooking vanilla, like a baking vanilla, or just any types of French vanilla, anything like that. You can really get into a couple different varieties, but just a basic vanilla. I use the one from Candle Science. It does extremely well and it sells very well all year round. But those 2 scents definitely fit kind of in the same category, so I definitely wouldn't go too much more than that. Basically what you're going to want to do is, I always suggest having at least 4 different types of scents, like a fall winter baking type scent, a floral, kind of a woodsy earthy type scent, and something that's going to be a little bit more fruity tropical. Those 4 different varieties or 4 different types right there are going to cover your bases extremely well. So scents that I've found that do extremely well and are going to cover your bases as far as each of those categories are concerned are vanilla, cinnamon. Those do extremely well. They cover a lot of bases. Most people like a cinnamon or a vanilla. Now, of course, there are people out there that are not going to like a single one of these. But these are going to cover your base as well. So a cinnamon, vanilla are going to do extremely well in the kind of a fall, winter food type category. Lavender is one in the floral category that does pretty well. It doesn't cover all bases. It definitely doesn't go as broad as the cinnamon or vanilla does, but lavender is actually a very nice one. Another really nice floral that I found is plumeria. Plumeria is probably one of my biggest sellers, especially through spring and summer. It doesn't do too well through fall and winter, but it does sell a couple. But it's definitely a spring and summer scent, and it does extremely well. It's a really nice floral scent. It has a real soft smell. It's not overly perfumey, which a lot of people do not like with florals. So lavender, plumeria, those are 2 very good ones you could choose from. I would say lavender is probably gonna cover more bases than the plumeria. A lot of people love lavender, especially when you get into an area like I live in, which is a little bit more natural, essential oil type customer. They love the lavender, the soothing calmness of it, or those types of feelings that comes across with a lavender that people typically associate with lavender. Getting more into the earthy or woodsy type scents, I would go more towards like a driftwood or a sandalwood. The driftwood for me does extremely well. That's probably the #1 kind of earthy woodsy scent, or more of a masculine type scent that I would recommend. It does extremely well. It's not overly harsh on the senses when you burn it. People pick it up, it's recognizable, it's not overpowering. Say like something like a dragon's blood or a nag champa, those are gonna be very overpowering. The driftwood definitely covers a lot more bases as kind of a very basic woodsy, earthy type scent. And then getting over into kind of a more fruity, citrus, tropical type scent, I haven't found a real good one that's like a clear-cut winner. I've definitely done extremely well with Sex on the Beach. The Sex on the Beach is a real bright, kind of tropical, fruity type scent. It does extremely well. It sells extremely well spring, summer, and again a little bit during fall and winter, but people really start going towards the warm, homey, spice, food type scents in the fall and winter. But the Sex on the Beach is a very good one. And another good one is the Jamaica Me Crazy from Candle Science. Now you can get a tropical type scent from pretty much any of the candle suppliers and you're gonna do extremely well. I just happen to have this one near me, which is why I chose this one. So going more towards the fruity, tropical, citrus, I would definitely say the Sex on the Beach or the Jamaica Me Crazy. Those are two very nice ones that do extremely well. So if I was gonna pick 4 out of those, I would say the cinnamon and the vanilla is a toss-up. Go with either one of those. For me, I would probably pick the cinnamon just because it really stands out as a winter scent. People love cinnamon. And the other good thing about cinnamon is most candle manufacturers or candle suppliers that are out there in the bigger stores, they don't sell just a straight cinnamon. Everybody does a cinnamon blend, like cinnamon apple or cinnamon and vanilla, just anything. So having a straight cinnamon is definitely gonna catch people's eyes. So a cinnamon, lavender, driftwood, and I would probably say Sex on the Beach. Those 4 scents right there are gonna cover a lot of bases. So if you are at a market and you only have a few scents to choose from, that's gonna hit pretty much anybody that comes to your table. You're gonna have a broad enough palette or scent palette with those 4 scents that you're almost guaranteed that somebody's almost guaranteed to like at least one of those coming up to your table. Now, of course, you're gonna find somebody who doesn't like any one of those, which is fine, but you're not looking, and you're probably never going to cover everybody's palette. Even if you had 30 or 40 different types of scents, you're still gonna find somebody who doesn't like a single one of them. So the more you can kind of narrow it down to a base scent or a base scent offering, you're gonna do better off. So having those 4 scents, cinnamon, lavender, driftwood, and Sex on the Beach, or Jamaica Me Crazy, either one of those 2, just like the cinnamon and vanilla, you can toss up between those 2 and you're gonna do just fine with either one of those. I chose the Sex on the Beach just because it does a little bit better for me than the Jamaica Me Crazy, but that could be completely different for somebody in another state, another town, just another area. And then of course, if you go up from there, you're gonna find which ones do well, because there are gonna be a couple of these that may not do well in certain areas. For example, you could be in a very sunny, more tropical area, whereas you're probably not going to go towards, maybe they just don't like the vanilla or baking type scents because they're in a sunny area, and the vanilla or cinnamon just makes it feel like you're in the winter and somebody doesn't want to feel like it. Could be anything. So there's really no clear-cut answer for this one. So once you start selling these, your basic 4 to 6 scents, you're going to see what does well. And if you can clearly see that your tropical citrus is selling more, then you would want to go towards more citrus. Start bringing another 1 or 2 of those and then try those out. So once you start selling, you'll see exactly what scents you probably need to head down the path further on. So whether it's the winter type scents, if you're selling a ton of those over the citruses, you start bringing those in and test a couple more out. Banana nut bread would be the second one or the third one that I would bring into that mix. But again, like I said, this is not a clear-cut answer. Those are just 4 options that I've found that do extremely well. I know in the DIY kits that I make, I have those scents in there and they always do extremely well. At least 2 out of those 4 are in every single one of the DIY kit selections when I do sell one, so they do extremely well. And again, if you have any suggestions or if you know of a scent that's like a real basic scent that covers a lot of bases, please tell me in the comments down below. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on this one. And as always, you can get in touch with me through all of the social media links down below. I've got everything in the video description down below: Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, the website, and of course the DIY Facebook group, where a lot of these discussions will continue on. So if you're not a member of the Facebook DIY group, please click the link and then jump over to Facebook, join the group. There's a lot of ongoing share threads, so just jump in there, introduce yourself, and tell us what you do as far as candles are concerned, or even if it's not in candles, just jump in and say hi and introduce yourself. And of course, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thank you.